Hi, I'm Judy. Welcome to Go with Yin Yoga. Today I have an approximately 40 to maybe 45 minutes, maybe a little longer or shorter, Yin Yoga, Yin Yang practice where we'll start with a few gentle movements to get a little energized, just a little, and then we'll move on to the longer holds of Yin. You need some props, blankets for sure. Go ahead and get a bunch of blankets. I definitely suggest a block or two. The foam blocks might be better if that's what you have. If all you have is cork, of course, that's fine. I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and grab a journal, a bolster. This is actually a pranayama pillow, but a thick bolster. I have one down there. And you can always substitute blocks and towels and pillows for that. Okay, go ahead and pause the video, gather up all your props. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and begin. Take an easy seated position, or you could be laying on your mat. Begin to close down your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or just let them get a little unfocused. Begin to breathe in and out through your nose. Take the index finger, the tip of the index finger and the tip of the thumb to touch on both hands. If you're sitting, a little more difficult if you're laying down, although you could still do it. If you're sitting, let your hands rest on your upper thighs or your knees, whatever is most comfortable for you. And just continue to breathe deeply in and out through your nose. Feeling yourself relax, letting go of your day. Really feeling the support of whatever you are laying or sitting on. Feeling into those sit bones. Feel very, very supported. Today's practice physically is going to strengthen the connective tissue in your hamstrings and your back. And on a more subtle level, today's practice is going to help you set intentions. Whether that's the beginning of the year, which is when I'm releasing this video, or if you're mid-year, end of year, whatever time of year you need to set some intentions. We are targeting our kidney and our bladder meridians, which can help with focus and energy, and also help to decrease stress. A couple more breaths here. Releasing any tension from your body. Inhale, feel inspired. Exhale, release. One thing I'd like you to do throughout our practice today is try and take your focus between your eyebrows to your third eye. Focusing on your third eye can connect you deeply to your own wisdom, your own intuition. And slowly relax your hands. Allow your eyes to flutter open if they were closed. Come off of whatever you were sitting on, or slowly come up from laying down to come into a tabletop position towards the middle of your mat. Spread your fingers very wide. Curl your toes under. Inhale, exhale, begin to take your feet, your hips up towards the ceiling. Doesn't matter if your heels come down on the mat. Downward facing dog. Once again, taking that attention between your eyebrows. Maybe closing your eyes. We're not going to be here very long. And of course, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can stay in tabletop. You can come down onto your forearms. A couple more minutes. Or rather, seconds. And on your next breath, begin to bend those knees, coming back into the tabletop position, perhaps walking forward a little bit on your mat. Inhale, exhale, release tension. And on your next inhale, go ahead and stretch your left leg out behind you. Toes are curled under. And inhale, come forward. Exhale, come back. Inhale, reach towards the future. Exhale, let go of the past. Inhale, what seeds are you planting today? Now I know we associate seeds with the spring, but the end of the year is a good time to prep your garden, so to speak. Go ahead and come back into your tabletop position. Inhale, exhale. Next inhale, stretch your right leg, toes curled under behind you. Inhale, reaching forward again. Exhale, pushing back. Inhale, what would you like to plant this year? Exhale, what do you really need to release from last year? Inhale, it's also the water season. Winter is associated with the water element in traditional Chinese medicine. And go ahead and let that go. Come back into your tabletop position and pause. So I'd like you to think about what seeds you are watering at this time. Inhale, exhale. Take your hips back to your heels. If this is not comfortable for you, grab one of your blankets. Go ahead and put it between your legs, your upper and lower legs, although we will be moving in this position. Take your toes together and your knees out. We're coming into a wide-legged child pose. Stretch your arms in front of you. Now you have the option to go ahead and grab your block and just come into this pose and rest your head on the block. Or you can inhale, push into your elbows to bring yourself forward. Exhale, take your hips back to your heels. Inhale forward. Exhale back, bringing your attention to your third eye. Really trying to tap into our own wisdom, our own intuition. A couple more times. And last time. And begin to walk your hands back towards your knees. Go ahead and grab either a block or a blanket or a couple of blankets. I'm going to sit up on a blanket. Stretch your right leg out towards the right corner. Bend your left knee and bring the sole of your left foot to your right thigh. And if your knee is way up here, go ahead and grab a blanket. And just put it right under that knee. And you can do that even if your knee isn't way up high. It's fine. Inhale, begin to turn towards your right leg. And begin with a straight spine, looking towards your right leg. Breathing in and out through your nose. Letting your muscles relax. Very important in Yin Yoga to not contract the muscles. And then go ahead and grab a pillow, a bolster, place it over your right thigh, grab a block, and take your forehead onto that block. And you have to play around with what height works for you. And perhaps just move your forehead back and forth a little bit, as if you're very slowly shaking your head no, and then come into stillness. Moving into the Yin Yoga portion of this practice, we're going to hold most of the poses, maybe all of them I think, for 5 minutes. Now that could be very welcome to you, and it could be very challenging, and it's okay either way. If this feels very challenging, you might want to roll up the blanket you're sitting on a bit more to give your hips a little more height. And again, what did you plant this year? Did you plant bitterness or did you plant joy? And which would you rather plant for next year? How are you going to water those seeds so by the time spring comes around, they are ready to grow and to flourish? Maybe that's by working on your mindset. Maybe that's showing up on your mat more frequently. Maybe that's taking the time to meditate every day, even if it's just a minute. How will you water your garden for next year? And go ahead and take the palms of your hand to the mat. Gently grasp your block and remove it from underneath your head. Walk your hands back towards your body and slowly unwind the spine upright. And look towards the center and smile. And of course, we're moving to our second side. So again, take your time. Transition slowly. Maybe you need to windshield wipe your legs just a little bit. And then stretch your left leg out towards the left corner of your mat. The sole of your right foot comes to your upper left thigh, and right knee is bent. Begin by turning towards your left leg and just looking over towards the left. Go ahead and grab your bolster or your blanket, your pillow, whatever you were using on your first side, and drape that over your leg. So our kidney meridian runs up the inside of our legs. And that's what you may want to think about as we're holding this pose for about 5 minutes. Go ahead and grab your block. Place it at the height that is comfortable for you and begin to allow your spine to roll down. And take this first minute to take any adjustments you may need. I actually do need to make adjustments. There we go. That's better. And continuing to bring your attention to the space between your eyebrows. And getting focused. Clearing out the weeds from your garden so that you can see more clearly the path ahead. And you may notice that I have socks on. You may be wondering why that is. When we practice yin and we're still for long periods of time, we tend to get very cool. And we're not standing for the most part. We don't have to really ground into our feet. So it's much better to keep our body warm by wearing a pair of socks when it's cold out, as it is today, for sure. And it's actually also really good for your kidneys to try and keep your body warm. And your kidneys, by the way, store a lot of your energy. And if you're feeling very low on energy, you may need to bring a little attention to your kidneys, and this practice does exactly that. Last couple breaths. And last breath here. And go ahead and take the palms of your hand to your mat. Gently grasp that block. Raise your head off the block. Turn to look at me and smile. Take your bolster aside. Go ahead and windshield wiper your legs if that feels good to you. Letting the knees drop from one side to the other side. sliding down off my blanket. And for the next pose, I'm going to sit up on a blanket. I'm going to stretch both legs out. Right leg to the right corner, left leg to the left corner. In fact, if you have 3 blankets, putting a blanket underneath each leg, for example, taking this, putting it under my thigh, could feel very comfortable. I didn't grab enough blankets today. And again, to begin, sitting up very straight. Legs are relaxed. Feeling the inside of your legs, energy flowing down, and energy flowing back up and through your kidneys. Energy flowing cleanly and clearly back down and up through your kidneys, and let that go. Go ahead and grab your block. Begin to let your head be very heavy. Maybe grab a bolster. And again, taking your forehead to the block. Coming back to that idea of the seeds that you are planting right now. Is it hatred or is it love? And how do you water, how do you nourish love versus hatred? And that may be connecting in your family, in your community, maybe even connecting online, knowing that you are not alone, and that all humans, and really all living beings, want the same things. Bringing your attention back to your third eye, focusing your intuition. Trying to see what seeds you need to plant. Feel free to pause the video and write whatever you need to in your journal. And below in the description box, I'm going to link up a short PDF worksheet. And that will let you think about, we'll have 5 questions. And it will guide you through thinking about the previous year. And what you need to release. And before planting a new garden, we have to prepare the old garden. To pull all the plants that have given us so much nourishment but are no longer bearing fruits. And we need to do the same thing with our thoughts and our intentions. Also, if you are new to Yin Yoga, I've linked up a video below, also in the description box, that will explain a bit more about Yin Yoga. Feel free to go ahead and grab that. Last couple breaths. And slowly bring the palms of your hands to your pillow, your blanket, your bolster. Gently grabbing that block, moving the block off to the side, and the bolster down towards the end of your mat a little bit. Go ahead and bend your knees. And lean back against the wall if you have it. And allow your knees to come together. Just take a couple breaths here. And take any movements that feel right in your body before we transition into our next pose. I'm going to go ahead and let that go. Take your blanket towards the back of your mat. I'm going to grab my larger bolster. Move that out of the way because I never used it. Be a little more gentle with yourself than I was just there. You go ahead and sit on the edge of a blanket. You can always roll it up for more height. You can use a block. And I was going to grab that. Now it's a little far away from me, so I'm not going to. But you can. Take the bolster across your legs or the pillow or the blankets, whatever you have, and experiment once again. Start with a straight spine coming into caterpillar. Maybe closing your eyes. Once again, feeling the support. Perhaps feeling your body relaxing deeper and deeper, knowing that it's supported. And now slowly begin to let your head hang heavy. Perhaps bringing that block forward a little bit, maybe a medium height, pressing your forehead into it. And again, maybe gently moving your head from side to side, as if shaking your head no in slow motion. A little movement before you come into stillness can be very nice. And again, perhaps taking the tip of your index finger to the tip of your thumb, letting your hands come down on your shins or wherever feels most comfortable for you. Relaxing deeper into the pose. And this practice is actually based upon a practice I offered 2 years ago. And as humans, hopefully we are always growing, always learning, always evolving. And I wanted to revisit that practice and make some changes with the knowledge that I've gathered over the last couple of years. And so I've linked that particular practice up in the description box. I've also linked it up after this video. Feel free to check it out at some point. It's another intention setting practice. And it's similar but different to this one. Allow your body to soften perhaps a little bit more. Paying attention to your breath, as always in yoga. Your breath will let you know if you've gone over your edge. It will get shallow, it will get choppy. It will be difficult to take deep breaths in and out. And last couple of breaths here. And slowly begin to take a hold of your block and begin to straighten out your spine, bringing your head up. Go ahead and set that block aside. Set your bolster aside. Come on off your blanket. You may still need it. If you are practicing at a place that has a wall, and you are familiar with legs up the wall or legs up the wall on a bolster, I would suggest that you either turn your mat so that it is perpendicular to the wall, or go ahead and grab a blanket and perhaps a smaller cushion to cushion your head. I'm going to show, if you don't have a wall to work with right now, you have a couple of options. Bring the soles of your feet to your mat and slowly come down to your elbows and slowly bring your back all the way down on your mat. Now you can grab one of those blankets or a block or bolster, and you have several options right here. You can take your legs straight up like this. Just like that. You just sit right like that. Having a blanket or bolster on your stomach can feel quite nice. Now another option, we have been doing a lot of flexion on our spine, and it can be nice to decompress that a little bit. So the other option is to take a pillow or a bolster underneath our sit bones, essentially, underneath our pelvis, and again, legs come straight up towards the sky. And this gives us just a little bit of decompression in our lower back. And so it can feel very nice. You have to know your own body, what is and is not good for you. I can't see you. I can't give advice without knowing your history. And I am not a doctor anyway, or a physical therapist. And you can stay right there. The last option, which also can feel very nice, you need a wall for. Take your bolster close to the wall, but leaving just a little bit of space here so that your hips can get in there. Sitting on your bolster, taking one hip right to the wall, kind of leaning over, slowly come down, holding onto the wall, bringing your legs up, and making sure that that blanket is underneath your head. And just let go. Once again, bringing that attention to the space between your eyebrows. So our bladder meridian actually starts at the forehead. I don't remember exactly. It goes over the forehead, over the back of the head. And it goes down either side of our spine in the back, and then down the backs of both legs. And that is the bladder. And so if you'd like to visualize energy running cleanly without any blockages down the back of your head, down both sides of your spine, through your kidneys, through your bladder, and down both legs. And then back up the back of both legs, back up through your kidneys and your bladder, back up either side of your spine, the back of your neck, back of your head, and over your forehead. And if you visualize that a few times, it may help you to understand why this particular pose is a good one to target the bladder meridian. Now, meridians are not each on their own level. So they can you can influence more than one meridian at a time, basically. And you also just have to trust that what you're doing is reaching the areas that you need to have unblocked. We want to strengthen our kidneys and our bladder in winter. They're associated with the water element, as is winter. And when your kidneys are very depleted, you may not have a whole lot of energy. And when we don't feel energized, it can be very difficult to stay focused, to connect with our intuition, to make decisions. And my hope for you is that this entire practice is going to help with all of that, to help you focus, to help you to be a bit more energized, to help you find a little more energy. And if you are on your mat with your legs just up in the air, go ahead and bend both knees. Gently take the soles of your feet to your mat. Lift your hips and remove whatever you have underneath. Slowly stretch your legs down the mat and bringing your arms near your sides but a little bit away from your body, coming into Shavasana. And if you are at the wall as I am, begin to bend your knees, press the soles of your feet into the wall, lift your hips, take whatever you have underneath your hips, push it down towards the end of your mat, and slowly begin to let both legs fall down to your mat. Maybe bring your torso upright. Hold on to that bolster, bring it under your knees. Again, letting your low back relax. Take a blanket, cushion your head, perhaps make another blanket, and place it over your body as we move into our final posture. I am going to sit up a little bit and hold space for you as you relax in Shavasana. And also, I'd like to read you a poem. Just close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Otherwise, let them be unfocused. You can also be laying on your stomach if that feels better for you, or in a fetal position on your side, whatever works for you. And this poem is from a book called Yoga Heart, which you probably can't see, especially with your eyes closed, but as usual, I will link it up in the description box below. I suggest you look at that. I have a lot of stuff for you there. And the title of this poem is called Seeds. Each seed we plant comes back to us, bearing similar fruit. What we plant flowers forth. Why plant bitterness when you can plant joy? Why plant hatred when you can plant love? Why hold on to anything, even this life? Who wants to live forever? Rather, let your life ripen completely. And when it's time to fall, let it fall, lush and full. You'll live forever in all your good deeds. And let your forehead soften. Relax your eyes. Allow your tongue to fall down to the bottom of your mouth. Soften your jaw. Let your shoulders melt down your back. Relax the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. And I will let you know when it's time to move again. Begin to let your breath deepen. Feel as though the bones in your body are very heavy, melting you into your support, into the earth. Begin to wiggle your feet, your toes and your fingers, perhaps circling your wrists, your ankles. Take whenever small movements feel good to you while still keeping your eyes closed. And your next inhale, stretch all the way up, as if you're just awakening from a deep sleep, maybe moving a little bit side to side. And then take one foot to the mat and the other, and slowly let your knees fall down to the mat. Coming into a fetal position, cradling your head with your bottom arm, and take a few deep breaths here. And then slowly begin to bring your torso upright, coming into an easy seated position, or feel free to stay in Shavasana for as long as is comfortable for you. You can't go wrong staying longer in Shavasana. And if you've come upright, slowly blink your eyes open. And take your left hand and have it face out towards the screen. So I'm not mirroring you right now, so you should be the opposite hand. Then take your right hand and clasp your left fingers with your right fingers. So it looks something like that. And then gently begin to pull. Maybe closing down your eyes again, breathing in and out through your nose deeply. And this is a hand gesture, a mudra, for self-confidence. And if you like, it can be at your chest. You can also take it down by your solar plexus, which is the seat of our self-confidence, our thought that we are good enough, that we are worthy. And we have to be confident in ourselves and our own abilities to choose the right intentions going forward. And we also have to let go of the things that did not serve us this past year. And underneath in the description box, I will have a worksheet that you can download, asking you 5 questions that will help you to do just that. And so a few more breaths here. And let that go. Bring the palms of the hands together. An Anjali Mudra in front of your heart, slightly bowing your head over your hands. Slowly blinking your eyes open again. Taking in the mat, your floor, and slowly raising your head, hopefully with a smile on your face. And you can go ahead and grab that journal if you are ready to. And you can begin to journal on the 5 questions. You can just write freeform. Whatever comes to mind, just keep your hand moving across this journal, whatever comes to mind. You can set some intentions for the coming year. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, I am so happy that you chose to practice with me today. And whether or not you're new, go ahead and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this practice, please go ahead and click the like button. And I look forward to practicing with you again. May you feel worthy. May you be healthy. May you be at peace. May you trust your intuition.